In this video, I want to talk with you about the Flow Builder and what it can actually do in Shopware 6. Basically, you can use it to automate processes to make your daily work as easy as possible, and to handle things that happen anyway and keep happening right from the start. For example, you could have rules where you send certain emails to customers when an order is in a specific status, and so on. But you can also do things like notify yourself when, for example, the stock of a product is very low. And now, let's take a look at exactly how this works in detail. To do that, we'll first go to our settings, and then under Automations, we'll find the Flow Builder. Here, we can already see a whole bunch of flows and automated processes that are already running by default. For example, an email is sent as soon as the customer places an order, So, of course, there are a ton of things like that. But also things like, for instance, if someone adds a payment method with the status refunded, things can happen as well. So you can really map out a whole lot of different things with this. And just to show you how to set this up, we'll go ahead and click on Add Flow. Then, first, I'll enter a name for the flow. We can also add a description and set a priority if we want. That basically just defines when the flow will be executed. For example, if the priority is set to 10, which is relatively high, this flow will be executed before others. If I click on Active here, then the whole thing becomes valid right away. Of course, as soon as a suitable flow is set up and I save it. Now we can go to the flow, and the first thing we need to do is select an event that will trigger the whole process. That means you first need some kind of event, something tangible, after which you want to perform an action. So I'll click on Select here, and then we can already see all the options we can refer to. For example, we can refer to the user, or to things like a product export, newsletter, when someone registers, and so on. We could use this as an example here, for instance. So someone who signs up for the newsletter should, of course, also receive an email. And now, for example, I might say that this should only happen if the customer is from the USA, for instance. Additionally, I could set it up so that it's only available if, for example, the Sunday sales are active, and so on. And then, once my conditions are set the way I want, I can say that I want to add an action, and this action could be, for example, to send an email. So, and here I could now select a suitable template for myself, like, for example, any newsletter email that I previously set up in the settings. Then, if needed, I can add documents, click on Add Action, and as soon as we save the flow, it would already work just like that. Additionally, I can also specify that if the customer, for example, is not from the USA but from another country, I can keep expanding on this here and go through more and more conditions. But I could also say that I don't want any more conditions here, just delete them, and say that if this is not the case, then nothing should happen and the flow will simply stop at that point. Then, when I'm satisfied with everything, I can save the whole thing. It will then tell me again, okay, the flow is now valid for your shop and also active, and then we can use it as is. And that's basically it for this video. Of course, you can try out more flows now. Just take a look at what settings you have available and get familiar with everything. I wish you lots of success, and I'll see you in the next unit.